everyone, it's Jen. Thanks for joining me today. I'm really excited to be bringing you my first process video, and hopefully this will be the first of many to come. I'm joining Rachel and Leslie this month for the Scrappy Christmas in July blog hop challenge through Paper Issues, and we are going to be creating projects this month to hopefully inspire you and get you going on those December projects that you may have started and never finished or just want to get done. I know that once the holidays hit, it's kind of hard to sit down and make Christmas cards or to get your album going if you do a daily album. So we figured what better time than July, and we're going to go ahead and get started this month on some Scrappy challenges for you. So we are going to be joining with Tracy Fox, and you'll know her on Instagram as Scrappy Like a Fox. So I hope you'll jump over real quick and follow her on Instagram if you don't already. Go ahead and follow Rachel, Leslie, and myself on YouTube for chances to win a gift card. And then pop into the Paper Issues Facebook Friends and Fans group to get all of the details that you'll need to join these challenges this month. So I decided to start off with a layout this month because those seem to be easier for me to complete. I have a couple of December albums that I have started in the past, and for whatever reason, it just is difficult for me to create mini albums on a grand scale. I have the album from 2016 just about finished, and I just have to add some journaling to that, and that is quite seriously the closest I've ever come to finishing a December album. So I figured I'd start off slow, start with the layout, because that's where I do most of my most of my memory keeping is with 12 by 12 layouts. And I'm going to be using the Create Paper Fall a Law collection for this layout. I will tell you that I cut a bunch of the video from the beginning. I had the idea that I would be doing a bunch of stamping and some painting on this layout, but then once I got the stamping on, I just really wasn't crazy about the look, and I knew that I wanted my photo and my embellishments to be in this one vertical area of the page. So you'll see some of the stamps now, but once the layout is done, then those do end up being covered up. So this layout is using one of the free cut files from the Paper Issues shop, and that is the Pines and Needles cut file. And I cut those ahead of time. I knew I wanted to use them. I went ahead and used the Heidi Swap toner paper, and I cut the Pines and Needles cut file using that and went ahead and put it through my Mink with the gold foil. So that's where the gold cut file is coming from. And then I took and did the same file in a little bit smaller size using vellum. I just love the look of vellum paper. It's so, I don't know, just so elegant and pretty. My photo is black and white. This photo I didn't really want to compete with all of the colors going on with the Christmas tree and the room that the picture was taken in and so on. So I went ahead and printed it in black and white, and I really love the timeless quality that you get when you do print your photos in black and white. So what I did was I took, first of all, those cut files that I used, and I split them in half so that I could get more out of them, so to speak, so that I could spread them out further on that vertical line that I'm following. So my photo is backed with a piece of vellum, and then the two pieces that you see on either side of the photo is actually created from a tag that I cut in half. I cut the top off and then I cut the tag in half and added that to the back of the photo. I just felt like it needed to have a little bit more of some weight to it to ground it on that page. You probably just saw that I had an Instax photo there as well. I was undecided as to whether I wanted to use the bigger photo or if I wanted to use an Instax photo, and I did decide to use the bigger photo. I kept this layout with a very minimal color scheme. I chose the golds and the white and black as my main color scheme here, just to kind of just keep it really simple, so to speak. So what I did was I used those dimensional paper snowflakes from the collection, and I placed those above, beside, and below the photo, and I ended up tucking those behind the pine needles because I loved how it pushed those pine needles off the page. If you know anything about my scrapbooking, you know that I do love chunky layouts. Sometimes my layouts have a hard time fitting in the page protectors because they get so chunky. I just love the depth and the texture that all of these added layers give to the layouts. So with the die cuts placed and those snowflakes in place, I then began using some of the chipboard stickers. Those are black and white snowflakes that I used, as well as the buttons that I purchased with the collection, and I used the black, and I guess it's kind of a cream colored plaid buttons to continue with that black and white theme and to create that triangle of sorts with the 3 buttons. Well, my layout is just about finished at this point. I'm going to add just a couple more embellishments, and that would be some gold enamel dots. I love enamel dots for pops of color and adding texture to my layouts. I cluster everything in groups of 3. So my button plus the 2 enamel dots is going to be that cluster of 3, and I'm a little bit neurotic about it, and as you can probably tell here, it takes me a while to get those placed. They have to be just right, you know. I'm going to put my journaling on next, and that was done. Oh, whoops, let me back up. So I put this tag on next, and I had made a label with my label maker that has Abby and Caleb's names on it, and once I put it on there, I didn't like it. It didn't really match the theme of it just didn't match. I didn't like it. So here I am trying to peel that thing up, and of course it's not budging. So I went ahead and used this tag from the Follow Law collection and placed that over the top of the other tag, so I didn't have to look at that anymore. You all probably know how that is. Journaling was next, and I went ahead and did this with pencil first. I draw my lines, and then I'll go through and do all of my journaling in pencil. I like to do this because my handwriting sometimes is not what I want it to be. I have rheumatoid arthritis, which sometimes makes my handwriting more difficult to do than on other days, and this day was just kind of one of those days where I wasn't liking it. So I went through and did it in pencil, and then I'm going to go back over it here with an ink pen, and I believe that's a pit marker, a fine tip black pit marker. A funny story here, when I go back here in just a sec to erase the pencil marks, because I had put the gel medium down on this piece of paper before I started the layout, because I was stamping and watercoloring on top of everything, and of course that all got covered up. But when I go to erase it here, because the ink was on top of that slick material or slick surface, it didn't permeate it, and so when I went to erase the pencil, I was quite surprised when the pen started coming up with it. So I had to go back in and go over the lettering one more time in a few spots to get it back to its original darker color. So with the journaling complete and the enamel dots on, this is going to be the layout here is going to be just about done. I'm going to take some ink and splatter some black ink. I think that's Mr. Huey's. Yes, I still have Mr. Huey's ink laying around. So I splatter some black ink just to give it a little bit more color, because that background is so muted. I wanted to add those little splatters of paint. So that's going to be my finished layout. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to have many more videos to come. And be sure to follow Leslie and Rachel as well and get those entries into the Paper Issues Scrappy Christmas in July challenge. Thanks.